It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the films of January 17th, 2003. We have 4 films to look at today, so let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and jump on a new one. We'll start off with the biggest new release of the weekend, unfortunately, the infamous Kangaroo Jack. Effing January, man. Effing January. That's the only reason why this movie made any money, was because it was released in January. Because you put this out in the summertime, you put this out in any other time except for January, maybe late August, maybe Labor Day weekend, this thing would not have made any money whatsoever. But it's put out in January, and let's talk about the history of this movie before we actually delve into it. We kind of already have talked about it in other episodes, but this film was originally titled Down and Under, and it was shot as a mob comedy in the style of Midnight Run. It started shooting back in August of 2001, lasted about 6 months, included cursing, sex, and violence. However, the film's producers were dissatisfied with the first rough cut of the film. Because of the positive response to the kangaroo scenes in early test screenings, and because Snow Dogs had just come out and was a massive success, the producers shifted the marketing focus of that away from a dark mafia comedy to a family-friendly animal picture. Extensive new footage that replaced the animatronic kangaroo with a new CGI one that was wrapped was shot. The film was edited down to a PG family animated comedy, and the rest is history, or infamous history, if you will. The plot of the movie is that 2 childhood friends who are now grown up get caught up with the mob and are forced to deliver $50,000 to Australia, but things go awry when the money is lost to a wild kangaroo. The kangaroo being the title character of Kangaroo Jack, and don't really need to tell you anything more about this movie. Just for that trailer alone, everything that you know about this movie, you already saw from that trailer, and it's not good. It is not good at all. The humor is not funny. I don't know who these positive test screenings were, but I feel like I need to go and find these people and give them a good slap across the face, because what the hell were you thinking when you said that? And I really got nothing for you. When you waste people like Christopher Walken and Michael Shannon and give them nothing to do, you have completely missed the point of why your movie exists. If you're not going to have those 2 guys do anything of value whatsoever and put the attention on this stupid kangaroo that does nothing but just make silly noises. Like, he's the film equivalent of dangling your keys in front of a crying baby, trying to get it to shut up and actually be happy. That's what this movie is doing every time that kangaroo is on screen. Like, he's not there for any other reason except to shut your kids up. He's just like, well, look at the kangaroo, and I'm having a good time. And yeah, I'm pretty sure no kid had a good time with this movie. But it was a hit. But again, it's because it was released in January. It made back its budget. But again, January, they made a sequel, but an animated sequel. But still, they made a sequel, and I really got nothing else for you, man. I mean, I think that trailer pretty much tells you every reason why you should avoid this movie like the plague. Yeah, avoid this movie like the plague. And if you needed another reason, excessive fart jokes, lazy humor, insulting the Looney Tunes. They do that too. This movie's horrible, plain and simple. So with that said, let's go ahead and get away from this movie. Let's get back to some positive January films. Here's a movie that I think gets unfairly criticized. Martin Lawrence and Steve Zahn in National Security. So in this movie you have Martin Lawrence and Steve Zahn as 2 LAPD rejects. One just got kicked out, the other can't get in. After confronting each other on opposite sides of the law during a traffic stop that escalates out of control, these individuals end up partnering as lowly security guards. Despite being damned to the lowest rung of the law enforcement ladder, Earl and Hank uncover a sophisticated smuggling operation led by Nash and his band of thugs. When Earl and Hank get their hands on some hot property, they go on the run from first the bad guys and the LAPD, led by Lieutenant Washington and Detective McDuff. When these 2 unlikely partners do to law enforcement is a crime, but they just might save the day. That is, if they don't kill each other first. And that's one of the reasons why I really like this movie. I mean, the trailer gives you kind of an idea of why this movie works. This has got some pretty damn good slapstick comedy, man. I mean, I was laughing pretty hard trying to keep my cool watching that trailer again. I mean, I've seen this movie numerous times, and the jokes and the slapstick in this humor between the 2 of them just wanting to beat the shit out of each other is absolutely amazing, and I friggin' love it, man. I love this movie. I mean, I think it's a funny film. Not every joke works. Not everything about it works to a point, but you can kind of figure out what's going to happen at the end. Who's going to be working for the bad guy? Who's undercover working for the bad guy? Like, but the film knows exactly what it's trying to do. It just wants to make you laugh, and for that, I got to give them a lot of credit for that, because this is a really funny movie. And like I said, it works because you just like seeing Martin Lawrence and Steve Zahn wanting to beat the ever-living crap out of each other. They hate each other so much that they're willing to punch each other in various times during the course of the film. That's just like, how can you not enjoy that, man? I mean, I friggin' love this movie, man. I think it's hilarious. I think it's great. I think it's a very underrated film. Maybe great's a strong word here. It's a good movie. I enjoyed it a lot, so I recommend it for a good, fun time. For a January film, that's all you can ask for, quite honestly. So with that said, let's move on to the next movie, and a movie that's not quite as fun, but certainly not as bad as Kangaroo Jack. Let's talk about a guy film. IMDb, I think, sums this up pretty nicely. When he wakes up the morning after his bachelor party in bed with a strange woman, a man presumes he must have cheated on his fiancée. Guilt leads him to try to cover it up the week before the wedding. Hijinks ensue. That's pretty much what the movie is, and not really good. I mean, this is why I gave a lot of credit to Just Married, because they took a predictable storyline and actually made something interesting out of it, and had two really good actors who really could carry the load here, with at least that film, Just Married. But in this movie, yeah, not so much. I mean, I like Jason Lee, I like Julia Stiles, I like Selma Blair. They should work together here, but you don't really buy the chemistry all that much. And I think the rewriting of the movie, you can definitely tell this was rewritten several times by somebody who was just trying to find something different instead of doing the same movie over again. But they just ran out of time to do it and just said, fuck it, let's just put it out like it is. And lo and behold, this is the film we got. And I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what to say about it. I think the leads are too talented for a script like this, and even if they can't make it work, then the film can't work in any way, shape, or form. And that really hurts the film in the long run here. These leading actors who are very, very good can't save the overall final product when it's all said and done. Like, if I can't buy into the chemistry, then what the hell am I even here for? Honestly. I mean, not much more I can say about this one. A guy thing. So with that said, let's go ahead and wrap it up with the overall best movie of the entire week, and I don't think there's any question about it. Fernando Morales' City of God. So City of God tells the story of it. It's adapted originally from a 1997 novel of the same name, but it's also loosely based on the real events, depicting the growth of organized crime in the suburb of Rio de Janeiro between the end of the 1960s and the beginning of the 1980s, with the film's closure depicting the war between the drug dealer Lil Z and vigilante-turned-criminal Knockout Ned. The tagline of the film is, "If you run, the beast catch you. If you stay, the beast eat you." So in other words, in any way, shape, or form, the beast is going to screw you up in any way, shape, or form. And this film was very successful. It was nominated for 4 Academy Awards. Did not get a Best Foreign Language Film nomination, surprisingly, but it's often been considered one of the greatest movies of the 21st century and one of the best movies of all time, and has actually led to a spin-off TV series called City of Men, which actually was spawned off into its own movie at the same time. One of the most notable things about this movie is that it's shot on 16mm to give you kind of this guerrilla-style filmmaking type of thing. And usually when they do that, it's usually to help the budget overall, so you can actually do more things with the budget overall. Just kind of like what they did with what's the Peter Jackson movie? Brain Dead, I think it was. Brain Dead or Dead Alive? Now I need to know. Yeah, Brain Dead. He did it so that they could use more of the $3 million budget on extensive gore effects. And it's a practice that's been used in a lot of movies. Moonrise Kingdom did it. Leaving Las Vegas did it. TV shows have done it. Sex and the City. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The Hurt Locker used those cameras to utilize a lot of multiple camera shots from many different elements of the film. Even more recently, First Man, Mother, Da 5 Bloods, the Spike Lee film. I mean, it's a common practice, but in a film like this, it definitely shows what that type of technology can really do in a situation like this movie. And I think the film does a very good job of handling that. You get invested in the characters, you get invested in the storyline. It's a really good film that it's very well made overall. It's a beautiful looking film. that isn't afraid to get tense when it really needs to. The drama is very good. Everything about the film overall, I think, is very, very solid. It's a well-made film, a very entertaining movie. You can definitely see why it's considered a classic as one of the definitive films of the 21st century. I think it's a very well-made film. I highly recommend it. City of God. Definitely check it out. So with that said, that wraps up another edition of Time About the Movies. And next week, one movie to look at. I only wish it was a better film, though. I mean, it's not quite Kangaroo Jack bad, but it's pretty bad. Darkness Falls. We'll take a look at that movie. I wish I had some more for you, but unfortunately, that's the only big new release that came out the next week. So we have to talk about it. I'm not going to enjoy talking about it, but we'll delve into it. And with that said, I thank you so much for watching. And if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the place on the next page. Check out the previous episode, and also don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this on this channel. And don't go too far away, because coming up on Time About the Movies Flashback, we're flashing back to April 8th, 1988 with Bad Dreams, Steven Seagal's first major action film above the law, 18 Again, The White Horseman, and Consuming Passions. 5 films we'll take a look at. That'll be on Time About the Movies Flashback, which will be coming up right after this.